Hey guys, how's it going? Rubik's Master here with your Thursday defense review video. Now, I did log on today and noticed that for some reason El Kukui is available again. I didn't see any notification of this on Twitter or the Kixeye webpage. Didn't see any of the notifications for this, so I don't know if this is supposed to be like our monthly event or what. I'm not going to be making a video of it because it's the exact same as before. The only noticeable differences are the main draw of the event is getting sniper criticals, and they've taken the outpost required to make El Kukui appear down from 25 to 12. So they've halved the amounts of outposts you have to attack to draw out El Kukui. I view that as a bad thing. It means you have less time to grind up for redeploy tokens, but whatever. I may try and defeat him once, but as y'all know, I am out and about, so I will not even be able to play that much. Okay, so we're going to do 4 reviews. I may or may not talk about a lot of them. Let's do the 2 victories first, and we'll just do the 2 most recent victories, and we'll see what we got. Alright, I'm going to turn that down because that's a little loud for me. Okay, so this guy's attacking me with 4 Abrams, 2 rocket buggies, 4 S-13s, and a bunch of infantry. Okay, you can already tell as he's coming in, he's not paying any attention to that landmine. He's not being super careful about keeping his tanks in front. So he's taking a lot of damage, especially from my salvo turret. But as my railguns boot up, they are ripping a hole through his platoon. So it's pretty easy to see why he lost this one. Those railguns don't do a lot of splash damage, but what they do definitely helps. Yeah, he's down to his 2 rocket buggies, and those get shredded immediately. And that's the end of that. Generally, by looking at the attacking forces, you can tell that it was going to be a losing fight by how oddly his units were distributed out. Even in the placement of your units in a platoon, you need to be very careful in your choice of placement, because it can be the difference between being able to easily transition between controlling different sets of units. Whoops, didn't mean to click on this, sorry guys. Anyway, it can be the difference between easily transitioning from groups of units you're controlling to massive delays that cause you to take unnecessary damage. And even though your tanks are meant to be able to soak up a lot of damage, you want to avoid it as much. Like, there's no need to take senseless damage. Okay, this guy's attacking me with all helicopters. So we'll see what he targets here. Okay. So, I mean, with that flak not dead, he's just not going to get it. It's just not going to happen. So that could have possibly been a win. Whenever I'm going in with a helicopter platoon to attack a base that has a flak turret and a salvo turret, that flak turret is always the priority. Salvo turrets are annoying, but just spread out your helicopters a little bit and you can easily take it out. You may take a little more damage than you want to, but it's not that big a deal. If that flak turret is up, you will not win. So he called in his Reapers on the flak turret and his Thunderbolt on the salvo turret. The Thunderbolt being called in after the Reapers is basically a guaranteed freebie on one of those turrets. So I would have called in the Reapers on the salvo and the the Thunderbolt on the flak turret. It would have guaranteed that I was going to take out the flak turret, and who knows, with the speedy takeout of the flak turret, the Reapers may have stayed alive long enough to finish taking out that salvo turret. So now let's move on to our 2 wins. If we get a cruddy win, that's not really a good example of good strategy. We may just try something. Okay, so here's going to be an example of somebody that beat me with a helicopter platoon, calling in his Reapers to take out both my flak and my salvo while he calls in his helicopters. This is actually really good. It's not even all that cheap, really. He showed great control in just going balls to the wall with all his airstrikes and his air units. He took out all my defenses in about 15 seconds. And that's decent. I should have double checked and seen how much damage his air units actually took. Relatively, it wasn't even that much. So that was a cheap attack for him. He definitely came out ahead. I'm not going to count that as a cheap attack. Okay, let's go down here and look at this one. Hopefully we can see someone destroy my base with ground forces and not just helicopters. I know my base is weak to helicopters, and maybe not this week. Another helicopter one. Basically the exact same crap. So we're going to go out and try a different one. So it may not be this week, but I'm hoping for future weeks I'm going to do a different base setup every week. That way my Thursday defense reviews involve a different base setup. And that allows me to test different theories, and you guys can suggest different base setups for me to do. Keep in mind, it may be a little difficult for me to do it with the same level of turrets because of just the cost of upgrading those turrets. But I will definitely be doing new base layouts for my defense reviews. Okay, here we go. This guy beat me with what looks like a rather weak platoon build, really. He has a massive amount of Reapers in one group. Only has 2 Abrams. Okay, so he opted to take out my War Factory, which is a good strategy. And Mortarman took out the helipad. That is one weakness I've discovered about this, and it seems something people have only just recently realized, is how you can reach beyond these walls with the Mortarman. And it is an excellent strategy. Okay, this guy has a momentary lapse in judgment. He's not quite paying attention to how far the range on that salvo turret is. Whenever you're attacking a base and it has a salvo turret, you always want to click on it and note exactly what you can and can't attack without being in range of that salvo turret. It helps you plan your attack and how you're going to clear a path through the buildings. And what I mean by clear a path, whenever I'm going to attack a base, I destroy all the buildings on my way. It allows the pathfinding to work much more efficiently. At least it appears to be that way. Alright, so we're going to speed this up a little bit because this guy's taking his time, which isn't a bad thing. We're going to see... Okay, so he's going around clearing all the outskirts first. It looks like he's leaving his tanks there, though. So he's going to come back with his S-13s. I bet he's going to do this. He's going to come back with his S-13s and plow in with the Abrams, or he may... No, he wouldn't be in a base that only has one railgun. Basically, as long as you're distracting one railgun, you can take that fire for a little while. So it is feasible to have your tanks go in from one side of the base and the S-13s go in from the other. But with 2 railguns, that's just not possible. And from here, it's just a standard affair of taking stuff out. Oh, wow. So, yeah, he didn't get it. He didn't get the 100%, but he still did a very good, solid attack with a platoon that on first glance seems inferior. And that's what I like to see. I like to see people get imaginative with their platoon makeups. Because let's face it, some of these troops just generally look cool. The riflemen, not riflemen, the machine gunners especially, just by their image, they look cool, and they kind of beg you to use them. But their uses are fairly limited, so sometimes it's fun just to take a bunch of units that look cool and try to use them in an attack. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Like I said, I will be doing different base setups for my defense reviews in the future. You can give me tips or suggestions on how you want my general base setup to be. Like, I don't know. Go crazy with it. Just let me know what y'all want to see. Until next time, y'all have an awesome day.